morning, my dear student. Welcome to our Gyan Jyoti online classes. Okay. So, the NCM or non-cooperation movement, or you can say Khilafat movement also, it was launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1921. Okay. So today we will discuss about how did the people of town areas, how did the people of rural areas, okay, or the people and the people of tribal areas, and also the plantation workers, okay, they were activated or actively to participate in NCM or non-cooperation movement led by Mahatma Gandhi against the British government. Okay, so let's start from town areas people, that how did the people of town areas they were connected in NCM or non-cooperation movement. Okay, so it started with middle class participation in cities. Okay, means the middle class peoples were mostly what? Participated in cities, in towns, students, teachers, lawyers, okay, they gave up their works, they gave up their jobs, okay, legal practices and joined in movements, council elections were boycotted, foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops were what? Picketed. So in town areas, mostly the middle class people were actively participated in Khilafat movement or non-cooperation movement. Okay, the students, lawyer, means every middle class people. Okay, they were involved in what some works for their livelihood. They were left their jobs and what joined in NCM. Got it? Then the council elections was also boycotted by the people. Got it? Then foreign goods were boycotted and what? Liquor shops or wine shops were picketed by the people who lived in town areas. Okay. After that, movements in countryside in rural areas, means how did the villagers or rural people they were took part in NCM. So peasants and tribals took over the struggle, okay, which turned violent gradually. The peasants were led by Baba what? Ramachandra in Awadh against landlords and talukdars. Okay, so the peasants, the farmers, they were what? Combined their organization and they were started protest against the landlords and talukdars. Okay, landlords and talukdars were appointed by the British government to collect the high revenue from the peasants, or you can say farmers. Okay, in 1920, the Oud Kisan Sabha was set up, headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. A Kisan Sabha, a farmer Sabha, was what? Founded or headed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Baba Ramachandra and a few others. Okay, and through the what? Kisan Sabha, what? They were or in rural areas, the Kisans were what? Protested against the Britishers. Got it? Then movement in tribals, movement in, you can say, a deep of the forest where the tribal people were living. Okay, so Alluri Sitarama Raju led the guerrilla warfare in the what? Gudum hills of Andhra Pradesh. So in forest areas, many tribal people were also involved in NCM or non-cooperation movement in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, what? Alluri Sitarama Raju what? Took the leadership of non-cooperation movement against the Britishers. Okay, the rebels attacked police stations. The rebels means the revolutionary people. Okay, led by Alluri Sitarama Raju, and they were attacked to the police stations. Raju was captured and executed in what? 1924. Raju was captured by the British government and what? Punished, or you can say gave death punished by the British government in 1924. Okay. Then the plantation workers. For the plantation workers, what Swaraj means moving freely, because in plantation area they were what? Forced to do work, okay, against their wills. So for the plantation workers, okay, Swaraj or freedom means only moving freely. That's why for their what? Freedom, for their, you can say, ambition for moving freely, they were also to participated in NCM. Got it? The plantation workers, they were also returned to their what? Home. Okay, they were also what? Left from their plantation field. Okay, and they were also protected against the British policy. They protested against the Inland Immigration Act 1859, which prevented them from leaving the plantation without permission. Okay, then each group what? Interpreted the term Swaraj in their own ways. Okay, so the non-cooperation movement was rapidly spread all over the India under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, every class of people, okay, the farmers, women, okay, then the students, lawyers, then plantation workers, or you can say daily laborers, means every class of people, they were eagerly what? To participated in non-cooperation movement against the British government. Okay, but what? There was a sudden incident happened in 1922. Okay, a revolutionary group of people, okay, they were attacked a police station named what? Chauri Chora in Gorakhpur. It is located in Uttar Pradesh state. Gorakhpur police or Chauri Chora police station. Okay, they were burned that police station. Okay, and in that incident, what? 22 number of policemen were what? Burned or died. That's why what? The violence activity was took part in that incident. That's why Mahatma Gandhi called back the non-cooperation movement, or you can say Khilafat movement, because Gandhiji always followed the work of non-violence, okay, and the violence activity for, you can say, practiced by the revolutionary group in 1922, and they were killed. The 22 number of policemen of Chauri Chora police station. That's why Gandhiji what? Forced to call back the non-cooperation movement. Okay, after he called back the non-cooperation movement, what? Many political leaders, okay, they were disagree what? With the opinion of Mahatma Gandhi. Got it? And they were separated from INC or Indian National Congress. From non-cooperation movement to which type of event were responsible for what? Civil disobedience movement. Okay, about that event what we will discuss. So the topic is what? Towards civil disobedience, from 1922 up to what? Civil disobedience movement. So the topic is what? Towards civil disobedience. So in 1922, what Mahatma Gandhi called back the non-cooperation movement due to the violent work practiced by the Indian revolutionary group. Okay, and After that, many leaders such as what Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, Srinivas Iyengar, okay, they were formed, you can say what Swaraj Party, and they were demanding the complete independence. Okay, means after non-cooperation movement, what the INC or Indian National Congress divided into two group of people. Okay, one group of people they were known as, you can say, the no changers. Okay, and another group of people, they were known as the pro changers. Okay, no changers means they were, you can say, followed the path of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, and the pro changers, they were the extremist people. Okay, and they were tried to gain independence or freedom through the war with. Got it? Then the Swaraj Party was formed by what? Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, Srinivas Iyengar. Okay, in 1922. Got it? In the Gaya session of Congress, Chittaranjan Das moved a proposal to enter the legislature, but it was defeated. Das and other leaders broke away from the Congress. Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru formed the Swaraj Party in 1923. 1923, the Swaraj Party was formed under the leadership of Motilal Nehru and Chittaranjan Das. Okay. The Swaraj Party program was to obstruct the government. The party wanted to create deadlocks on every measures. It consisted election and won 42 out of 104 seats to the central legislature in 1923. So in 1923, okay, in the election of central elections, the Swaraj Party won 42 seats out of 104 seats to the central legislature. Means in central legislature body, there were the member of what Swaraj Party were also work under what British government. Got it? After that, a delegations, you can say a commission was sent by British government in 1927, the Simon Commission, to deal with the Indian political leaders and sort out the problem between Indian leaders and government. Okay, at that time, two things or two factors, okay, that shaped the Indian politics. Okay, the worldwide economic depression. Okay, means the reason behind worldwide economic depression was the First World War. Okay, that's why the Indian leaders were also very much aggressive towards the British government, because British applied very harsh treaty to collected revenue, and also you can see the forced recruitment are also happened in rural areas. So the worldwide economic depression is one of the cause behind the aggression of the Indian leaders. Okay, as well as you can see the agriculture price collapsed after 1913, and the demand for agriculture goods fell and exports declined. Okay, that's why the Indian political leaders, okay, they were very much aggressive towards the British government, towards the policy to sort out the problems, to sort out the matter. Okay, a delegations, commission was sent by British government, the Simon Commission. Okay, it was constituted by the British government, okay, to look into the demands of the nationalists and suggest changes in the constitutional structure of India. Okay, the commission arrived in India in 1928. Okay, the Simon Commission. Okay, it looked at the demand of the Indians, got it, and also advised to the British government to about the changes in constitutional structure of India. So the Congress protested against the commission. So the Congress protested against Simon Commission because there was no single Indian members in Simon Commission. That's why what the Congress gave the slogan that "Go back Simon." The Congress protested against what? Simon Commission. In December 1929, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, the Lahore session of Congress formalized the demand of Purna Swaraj. Okay, the Lahore session okay, the Congress demanded the Purna Swaraj. Got it? After that, the Salt March and the Civil Disobedient Movement. Means, how did what? The Civil Disobedience Movement took part. Got it? So, Gandhiji chose salt as the medium that could unite the nation as consumed by all the sections of the society. Got it? So Gandhiji chose to violate the salt law because salt law was one of the most widely disliked law in British India. Got it? Because every class people, okay, consume salt. That's why Gandhiji to launch civil disobedient movement, or for launch civil disobedient movement, Gandhiji choose to break the salt law. Got it? So salt, or you can say the Dandi March, began on March 12, 1930. Remember the dates. The dates are very important. Dandi March. Okay, to launch the civil disobedient movement, for the purpose or aim of launch civil disobedient movement, the Dandi March, or you can say Salt March, was started by Mahatma Gandhi in March 12, 1930 with you can say together with 78 chosen followers. He walked nearly 375 kilometers from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi. Okay, from Ahmedabad to what? Gujarat. Got it? On 6th April, Gandhiji reached Dandi, picked up a handful of salt and broke the salt law as a symbol of the Indian what? People refusal to live under British rule. So finally, what? He and his followers were reached Dandi, and on 6th April 1930, okay, salt law broke out, salt law. So on 6th April 1930, the salt law was what? Broke out by Mahatma Gandhi and his followers in Dandi, and you can say it was the launch of civil disobedience movement. It was the launch of civil disobedience movement in 1930. Got it? So it was different from non-cooperation movement, as people were now asked not only to refuse cooperation but also to break colonial laws. It was totally different from non-cooperation movement. Okay, in non-cooperation movement, the people were only didn't make any cooperation towards the British government, but in civil disobedience movement, the people were broke every colonial policy, okay, which were applied over them. Then boycott of foreign goods, non-payment of taxes, breaking forest laws were its main features. The British government followed a policy of brutal repression to repress the civil disobedience movement. The British government were also took the brutal policies, took very strict laws to repress the civil disobedience movement. Got it? Then the British government arrested all the leaders, including Gandhiji and Nehru. Many political leaders, okay, who led civil disobedience movement, they were arrested by the British government and thrown into the prison. Got it? After that, the Gandhi-Irving Pact was signed between British government and INC. On 5th March 1931, Lord Irwin, the Viceroy, signed a pact with Gandhi, okay, to you can say to repress the civil disobedience movement. A pact, the British government wanted to sign a pact with the Indian leaders. So on 5th March 1931, okay, 5th March 1931, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Pact was signed between British government and Indian National Congress. In December 1931, Gandhiji went to London for the second round table conference, but returned disappointed. Okay, before you can say second round table conference, first round table conference, which was held in London in 1930, okay, there was no presence of Indian leaders, or there was no presence of INC. But after Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed between INC and British government, Gandhiji or INC agreed to join in second round table conference in London. But in that conference, INC or Gandhiji returned disappointed. Got it? After that, Gandhiji relaunched the civil disobedience movement, but by 1934, okay, it lost its momentum. Got it? Means Gandhiji returned disappointed or faced disappointed in second round table conference in London. After that, Gandhiji relaunched the civil disobedience movement. Got it? In 1934, but in 1934, okay, the people didn't actively participated in civil disobedience movement, because it's lost its momentum. Got it? Then how participants saw the movement? Means like the farmers, okay, they were you can say thought that the revenue was you can say decreased. Got it? Like the businessmen, okay, they wanted to to cope the trade barriers from their trade. So how did the participation saw the movement? The rich peasants communities expected the revenue tax to be reduced. When the British refused to do so, they joined the movement. Okay, just like rich peasants, the poor peasants wanted rents of lands to be remitted or reduced. The Congress was unwilling to support the no rent campaign due to the fear of offsetting the rich peasants and landlords. Got it? The poor peasants also took participate in civil disobedience movement, but the Congress didn't give support to the poor peasants, because if they supported the poor peasants, then the rich peasants were disappointed from you can say from INC, Indian National Congress. That's why they didn't give any support to the rich poor peasants community. After that, the business class. After the war, their huge profits were reduced, wanted protection against import of foreign goods. The spread of militant activities, worries of prolonged business disruption, growing influence of socialism among the young Congress forced them not to join the movement. Okay, so this was the, you can say, story of second civil disobedience movement, which was launched in 1934. Okay, so why did the civil disobedience movement lost the momentum? Got it? So the rich peasants, poor peasants, they were demanding, okay, to decrease the revenue. After that, the business class people also they were demanding to stop the trade barriers or took off the trade barriers. Okay, that's why they were joined in civil disobedience movement. But Gandhiji called off civil disobedience movement in 1930 and joined in round table conference to discuss with the delegates of British government. Got it? So Gandhiji called back the civil disobedience movement. That's why the people were disappointed. The different, you can say, class of people are disappointed. And after Gandhiji relaunched civil disobedience movement in 1934, the people were disagreed to join or to participate in civil disobedience movement. Okay, the women also participated in protest marches, manufactured salt and picketing foreign cloth and liquor shops. Congress was reluctant to allow women to hold any position of authority within the organization. So you can say the women class, they were also actively participated in CDM, civil disobedience movement, as well as you can say in non-cooperation movement also. Okay. Then limits of civil disobedience. Limits of civil disobedience means what was the limits? Mean how did the people, like the Muslim people, like the oppressive class people, they were didn't join in CDM or civil disobedience movement, because there was the limits of civil disobedience movement, that the Dalits of the untouchables didn't actively participate in the movement. They demanded reservation of seats, separate electorates. Okay, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the leader of Dalits, formed an association in 1930 called the Depressed Class Association. He clashed with Gandhiji. Okay, after he clashed with Gandhiji, Pune Pact was signed between the Gandhiji and B.R. Ambedkar in 1932. Gave reserved seats in provincial and central council, but were voted by general electorate. So the Dalit class people, they were demanded the reservations. Okay, under the leadership of B.R. Ambedkar, and a pact was signed between Gandhiji and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in 1932, Pune Pact. And it was decided to give reserved seats in the provincial and central council, but through a general election to the Dalits. Got it? Then the leader of the Muslim League, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, wanted reserved seats for Muslim in Central Assembly also. Large section of Muslims didn't participate in the civil disobedience movement. Got it? So there was a limitations of civil disobedience movement Got it? There were several social groups, they were didn't what to participate in civil disobedient movement. Got it? So after that, the sense of collective belonging. So the sense of collective belonging means the sense of collective belonging means the people. How did the people were thought that they are what united? Okay, they are united in a single group. So there were different stories. There were patriotic songs were wrote by what the Indian writer, and through the dramas, through the patriotic song, through the stories, okay, the writers were able to create a sense of collective belonging among the Indian people, and the Indian people, they were united together, okay, and you can say protested against what? British government. Got it? Then the Quit India movement was also what took part in 1942. Got it? You can say there is no mention about Quit India movement in our textbook, but the Quit India movement was also took part in 1942. You can say it was the final what movement of Indian leaders, of Indian people against the British government. Okay, and through this type of movement like non-cooperation movement, you can say the CDM, civil disobedient movement, okay, and what the Quit India movement, finally a act was prescribed by the British government, and the act name was Indian Independence Act of 1947. Okay, you can say under or during that period, it was also resoluted by the British government that the partition of India was also took place, and the partition of India was acted by the British government, and two countries were created. One is named Pakistan and another one is our India. Okay. After that, finally the India Independence Act 1947 was passed by British Parliament. Okay, and what under this act, what India acquired freedom on 15th August 1947. Okay, so this is all about what nationalism in India. So what for our freedom, okay, to got independence, many freedom strugglers, okay, many Indian people, they were sacrifices their life, they were sacrifices their whole, you can say, life as well as family. Okay, so salute to that person, okay, who were what brought independent for us. Okay, Jai Hind, thank you, have a nice day.